Welcome to the KC Stars, where we talk to local Kansas City filmmakers and people involved in the film industry. And I have Edwin, who goes by Big Ed, here, who's an executive producer and a writer and a director. And I'm going to let you say a little bit about yourself, Big Ed.
Oh, uh, it's a lot. I could tell you my journey has been long. Uh, and just to quote a friend, it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey. Everybody strive for the destination, they want it fast, you know what I mean? I saw myself, even in high school, being in Hollywood, being like a director, like, Spike Lee and all, the big guys, Martin Scorsese. And, just for me, you know, uh, I felt like even if I was independent, I was going to make it. I was going to, have an imprint on, movie making and everything. I have a lot of like people that inspired me, like Ice Cube. You know what I mean? Like he was like the number one person that inspired me to be a filmmaker when I seen his transition from Boys in the Hood to Friday. You know what I mean? I lived it. That was my life. You know what I mean? And Spike Lee, Mario Van Peebles, Bill Duke. It's a lot of filmmakers that I can go down the list, but these are my early, people that inspired me to do what I do.
Yeah. What's your connection to Kansas City?
Born and raised, 41st and Euclid. I can say for, um, I can say at least majority of my youth, I tried to stay out of trouble. So I did some things. I'm gonna just say I tried to do things like sports, artwork, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, some people don't know about me. That's probably it'll definitely get clipped in this. I'm a comic book you know artist and creator. So been doing it for a long time. Ever since I heard that Nas, the rapper, he did comic books. When I heard that and saw that, I was like, oh damn, you could do that. So and then another one of the people like I read a lot of his comic books was Stan Lee. You know what I mean? I actually watched a documentary a long time ago about his rise, you know what I mean, and what he had to go through, So
Tell me about your
uh,
comic books.
so that's it. Let me say for one thing, I didn't know how to make comic books in the very beginning, how to
Sure.
create them. You know what I mean? I was just like most people that had a sketch pad and it would sketch out different ideals and stuff like that, different logos like the Bulls. You know, Michael Jordan was like probably like Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, like all these guys were like top notch, guys in their field, dominating. So I drew a lot of them. I drew Tupac. I drew a lot of hip hop stuff, Kumo D, Busy B, a lot of those guys from the back in the day, you know what I mean? Tech Nine. I had some pictures that I drew of Tech Nine when he did the face paint, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? So yeah, I was sketching up stuff, X-Men was like my favorite cartoon at the time, X-Men, Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z, like that was like my mixture of cartoons and stuff that I watched. And then Thundercats, because my mom was a big Thundercat and Transformer kid. She loved watching it, so I watch it with her. You know what I mean? I used to watch it with her and everything. And I mean, really early age. You know what I mean? So that kind of got me into the anime, cartoon stuff.
I thought you were going to make a joke because the first three people were named Mike that you mentioned. And I thought you were going to make a joke because you said Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and I can't remember the third Michael.
Uh, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, yes, he was like all these mics. I thought you, because you said all those Mike names first, I thought he did a comic book and he put them all together. That's your $1 million idea.
Nah, uh, honestly, yeah, I mean, I didn't make a comic book with all them together, but it was kind of like brewing in my mind. I've done a lot of sketches, you know what I mean, and a lot of different artwork. So, I mean, I probably could at that time make a comic book of them. I probably could have.
So if you
Uh,
started like without any knowledge of how to put a comic book together, but you had some art talent, how did
uh-huh.
you figure it out? Like, what did you do?
So, uh, first thing, I'm a great advocate of learning things on your own. I was kind of raised that way of building things on your own, working on your own cars. Back when men were taught to be men, you know what I mean? Learn how to hustle, all type of stuff, trading comics, doing different stuff. But there was a guy I had worked with, and he was like, you should do he used to go to Planet Comic Con. He was an Indian guy. He loved Batman. Like Batman was his favorite superhero. And I used to debate him every day, like, man, Superman will mop the floor with that dude. What you talking about? And Superman, and we talking about DC. Don't let get me on Marvel. You know what I mean? So we talking about DC and shit. And I'm like, dude, Superman, he has so many different powers, man. He'll kill Batman with no problem. So then he was like, okay, what's your because he saw me drawing one day and he was like, what's your best character that you've created that's better than Batman? And I said, King Solomon. He said, what? From the Bible? I said, nah, not from the Bible. This is my own creation of King Solomon. And he's like a galactic conqueror. You know what I mean? And he was like, that's a real story. I said, yeah. I had about 3 sketch pads where I had drew out like each panel. You know what I mean? I still got them till this day. I still got them. And I drew out each panel of his story, like, conquering different universes and stuff like that. And then like he started out like a general of his father's army and he went through this. I kind of got the ideal for him when I was watching the Discovery Channel one day and it was talking about Hannibal. Hannibal was the greatest general of all time until Caesar came in and kind of took a couple of his strategies and stuff like that. But at the end, they still study Hannibal in the military. They still study his strategies and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I took that character and molded him into my own. Well, he's a real life person, but I took him and molded him into a fictional character.
That's very cool. Hey, you got to read about Genghis Khan.
I have.
I love
He's
Genghis Khan.
crazy.
At one point,
He's
I read
crazy.
every book about him, and they talked about how it never really made it in the history books because that was more Asian history. We got all this European history.
Yeah.
He was, like they said, he did stuff that was not done until World War II with armies because he is dealing
Yes.
with tens of thousands, 50,000 people go one way, 10,000 go another. Like he just did things that it was impossible to do unless you just had that many people in your army. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted 100 generations too. He raped over 100 women. Like,
wow.
seriously, he was crazy as fuck. He had him. It's a lot of different generals, and like Nero was crazy, crazy emperor, but he had a few strategies that he took to build the Roman Empire into the artistic place that it looks like today. Like all the all of the different sculptures and stuff like that. Nero was one of the guys that contribute to Roman society. You know what I mean? So a lot of the generals, a lot of the emperors and stuff like that, even though they're known for a lot of their tactics and stuff like that, they still built a society that's sustained, and you can still see a lot of their work. You know what I mean? And then we still copy them. Like it's
Sure.
crazy. We still copy them. But we got off a little subject a little
It's
bit.
okay. It's okay. I can get us back
But
on. I got some pictures to ask you about.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the creation of the comic
Oh,
book.
sure, sure. Okay, here, I'll get
Because
out.
that wasn't even the creation. That was just me trying to do comic books. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, so the real thing after that, I researched because he kind of challenged me. So I researched how to make a comic book. And I went to go to the art stores to buy these 11 by 17 Bristol paper. And you're supposed to put your panels on that, ink them out. Because I was just doing pencil. You have supposed to ink out all of your artwork, then scan them in a printer, and then you have it digitally. So then you can put together your book, and then you can send it off to get it published and all of that. So
Oh,
I
wow.
learned that's the process that I learned on my own.
Wow. And did they get published anywhere?
Yes, 7 books on Amazon. Um, there was 2 other books that I did with my church, uh, R. Nicotes and US 17, which is a US 17 is basically a science fiction book about a robot that goes travel in space and kind of populates planets with human, uh, I guess, human.
I'm always impressed.
Yeah,
I'm always impressed with writers. I
yeah,
say
yeah. Oh, I
time
got
in because people create from nothing,
from
and
nothing.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, yeah. Our iniquities, the one I did with the church, also. That one was a. I'm still working on making that a movie too. Um, it's a descendant of King David that slays angel. Well, he casts angels into hell, and he also slays demons. So it's like a Blade Highlander type of story. You know what I mean? Because I was influenced by those type of things. So
So, what do people search on Amazon if they want to find your work?
just Solomon's Kingdom. Um,
Solomon's Kingdom.
I have to check and see how is it doing, but I haven't checked in a while. See, they were with when I first put them on Amazon, they were with Kindle, and I don't know what Kindle. I don't know what they're doing right now. It was like a separate thing to Amazon, like a
Yeah,
Kindle books. They would call it Kindle books,
sure.
and they were like it's called Comicology Kindle books. So
Okay.
I don't know if they changed it, if it's still the same. I don't know. So
It's all right, but they know what to search.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. They definitely know what to search.
hey, tell me what this first one is. The Cooking with Crooks. What is that?
Oh, that's a cooking show. That's a cooking show. Thought about my cousin right there, Lonnie. Um, we he saw the opportunity to do different shows, uh, kind of like broaden our our actual talent and because everybody has something they can do. So he was thinking like people can come on that can cook in the city, chefs, all of that. You know what I mean? If we really about Kansas City and about like showcasing everybody's talent, why don't we do a cooking show? You know, because everybody can't sing or dance. You know what I mean?
I love the name. Cooking with Crooks.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you got
he
double
came up with
speaker.
the name. I produced the project. So I put the money into it. I filmed it. I put the concept together. So you see the intro, you see the prep, because this is all from me studying from other cooking shows.
Hmm.
So I studied and figured out their process, and I still do the same thing with movie series, TV shows, all of that. So the introduction, the prep, the cooking, and then is the outro. So all of that plays a factor into putting this show together.
Is it filmed in Kansas City?
Yes, it's actually filmed at his house. He has like
Wow.
I would say it's a mansion, or it's I'll say it's a mansion. It's like it's kind of like a baby mansion, but
Yeah.
and it's a mansion.
A pretty
It's
nice
like
house, though.
some people will look at it like, oh, this a baby mansion. Nah, it's a mansion according to Kansas City. You know, if you look at Kansas City, you know.
Very cool. We got a couple others. What is this?
I started City of Kings. Let me give you a timeline since we're on these. So Cooking with Crooks, that one started in 2019. Um, I started writing City of Kings. That probably had to be later that year because we were in this massive expansion Blue Line Studios. So what that means is produce as many shows as we possibly can, whether it's cooking shows, TV series, small like short films, feature films. It was basically we have to push as hard as we can with as many as projects as we possibly can to get noticed and also to get supporters.
Very cool.
So
Tell me about the series in particular. How many episodes is it? That sort of thing.
yeah. I was getting to it.
Sorry, man.
So it's six episodes because there's a lot to go with this series, and it's kind of like I gotta take a minute and reflect for like 1 minute because we just recently like wrapped it up, the editing, and I'm still working on promoting and everything. So basically, it's a crime drama series set in Kansas City. Um, a local, well, an actual drug trafficker from Miami has a long ties with another drug lord named Emilio Santos. Emilio Santos kind of ran around with the cocaine cowboys, which it's a fake story. It's a fictional story that we made up. He's a guy that's Cuban and also Mexican. You know what I mean? Mixed race. So his nephew Salvador goes to uh, Kansas City to kind of set up shop for um, an I wouldn't say expansion for real. I would just say like to check on a territory that they had for a long time. You know what I mean? And to try to move their operation from Florida to Kansas City because Florida is being basically all of their spots are being shut down, and their Emilio Santos is being they're looking for him. They're under investigation for narcotics, and they've been caught in Florida. Like everything, their operation is basically cracked down in Florida. So they're basically moving their operation to Kansas City, and they're doing it gradually. In this first series, you see like a glimpse of it. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of egging on a existing war between North Side and Midtown. Midtown is ran by an old family, Italian family, the Mancini family. So the Mancini family is also integrated too. And this is something I think a lot of TV shows don't really talk about because some of these crime families are mixed now. There used to be a point in time where crime families were just Italian, Russian, you know what I mean? But they're a little bit mixed. Look at Tulsa King. Tulsa King is probably like the best description of kind of what's going on. So that's what we're doing in our series. We're mixing the races in these crime families. So the Italian mob, they have a black man that runs their family now, which is the grandson of the original Mancini that moved from New York to Kansas City. Okay, he set up shop and been running Kansas City since I guess 1930s when they used to call them the old mustache Pete's and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So they ran majority of like let's just say marketplace down there downtown.
Yeah, River
That's what
Market.
yeah, River Market. That's where they kind of started, and then they basically took the whole city. Now, I did look at the history of Kansas City when it comes to Italian mafia. I did, but a lot of it for me in this series is fictional. You know what I mean? I know about Pendergrass and the Machine. We probably mention it. We will probably mention it, but it won't be like uh, something that really goes along with the story. It'll be just kind of like history. You know what I mean? Of Kansas City. You know what I mean? So the story itself is fictional. So people don't look at it and be like, oh, we're telling people stories. We're not. We're doing what kind of like what Power did and The Wire did, because The Wire was probably the greatest crime series that's been put on TV. People don't give it that, but it Basically,
That's
it
great.
was. It was. So, um, because Sopranos really won all the awards, and that's what we do with this series. We kind of combine like those two series and put them together, and you got City of Kings. Um, that's what it'll feel like. It'll feel like that, along with like some Power and Snowfall and stuff like that. But in general, the North Side and Midtown are at war. Um, and the reason why is because the person is the plug. That's what we call, the guy that's bringing in the weight, Salvador. He's favoring one side, which is the North Side. And Sadado was the guy from Northeast that had that connection, and he was also a part of the Midtown. Like he was part of Midtown uh, before the first movie Golden Globe. They was together. You know what I mean? Like Sadado worked for Midtown. I know it's a little. It might go over some people's heads and stuff, but Sadado represents the North Side, and North Side had basically said, "Forget what Midtown is talking about. We're going to take over the city." Okay,
Okay.
this is in Golden Gloves. So then when you get into the series City of Kings, he's already been shot. People think he's dead. And there's a new crew that runs the North Side. Okay. So that new crew, they're doing exactly what Sadato was doing, which is we're taking over the city. We got the plug. And that's normally what it is when it comes to crime dramas. They want someone gets the plug and they want to take over the city. That's a main kind of plot line. You know what I mean? So seeing that this is a crime family that has a lot of power, which they've been around for like damn near 100 years, they have the whole city infrastructure, which
Mm-hmm.
is the politicians, the cops, the lawyers. They have all of that. So it'd be hard to kind of beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got the
But
connections.
yes, yes. And that's where the story gets very interesting because some of our characters get smart enough to actually contend with them. I ain't gonna say beat them, contend with them to the point where the crime family, the Midtown crime family, which is the Mancini family, they start to really fall off. I don't want to give up too much because
That's good. Hey, I
we
was
got
in one
seasons.
scene. I have no idea what's going on in my scene other than
Yeah,
my
yeah,
scene.
yeah,
So I'm like, this is
yeah.
fascinating. Like what you just said sounds so complex and wonderful.
You got to think we were working on this since 2019.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I've had so much time to develop it, and then also, um, I would say this: we needed it. Kansas City needs something to support actors. It's like the main thing. Like these movies are cool, they're cool. But something I heard 50 Cent said on an interview, he was like, "You need a star to make a movie, and a star is over half your budget. I mean, they want hundreds of
Hmm.
millions of dollars. Like, look at these actors, man. Samuel L. Jackson, highest paid actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, these actors want a lot of money. If you do a series, you can take somebody and mold them and turn them into a star. You see what I mean?
yeah.
Like they become overnight successes, and that's what we've been doing. My culture been doing with Tubi. You see what I'm saying? We've been putting out a lot of movies, but some of them are starting to move into making series, like McGrew Ave. If you've ever watched McGrew Ave, um, and it's just to the point where people are starting to root for this. They like, I like that character. I want to see more of him. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So when you came in, you had. Here's the thing that we had to change so much up in this series. That's why it's been so much dealing with filming this. This was probably the greatest challenge I've ever been through when it comes to filming.
Mm.
Greatest, off the chart. Like one of my uh, production managers, Steve, he'll probably see this. Uh, you know, he said at another interview we did, he was like, "Oh man, he's about to quit." Like I thought about it, but I never quit a project because I'm always determined to get it done. You know what I mean? That's the how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? When you work on something or you working, get the job done. You know what I mean? So
You
yeah, I
got
thought
that much.
about
Yeah, you got so
it.
much invested. It's probably
Yeah,
hard to give up and like say all that was worthless. If you just continue on, you could make it valuable. And this sounds
yeah,
valuable.
yeah. I mean, to me, it's like life. It's like my life. It's blood, sweat, tears, everything, man. Because I put so much into it. Like financially, yeah, and then be told by Missouri Film Commission that it has to be over $50,000 in order to get the tax incentive. You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean? Like, like a lot of guys are not like I've seen other filmmakers in town, and I'm positive that they didn't put in $50,000
Right.
to make a project. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I got
even
another
though,
project to ask you about.
yeah, go ahead.
Golden Gloves. Tell me about Golden Gloves.
Uh, that was a passionate project. I've been wanting to do a Rocky type movie, you know what I'm saying, for a
Hmm.
long time now. My first script that I read all the way through, I'm talking about from beginning to end, was Rocky. Like, I had also, um, I wrote Creed before the Creed movie came out. I wrote that in high school. But the
Wow.
thing is that Creed that they had was different from my Creed.
Sure.
My Creed was his son was inside of his mother's belly when he died. Like when they was fighting,
Uh,
Ivan Drago. The reason why she was screaming so loudly and crying all that because she had his last son inside her. You know what I mean? In my story.
wow.
So, so years later, you know, say Rocky, you know, you like I didn't know he had another son. Like she was pregnant during that time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that was like my story. But I end up losing. I know I still remember it how I did it, but I ended up losing the script because I moved around and did some shit, you know, to another location, another house, and I've probably lost between 3 to 5 scripts that I've written in my
Hmm.
early days. You know what I'm saying, like high
So
school ish.
what is the story of Golden Gloves about?
Golden Gloves is about a boxer that's in the streets. Uh, he had a career in Golden Gloves. His father was actually like a town hood champion. Like he was a regional champion and also a worldwide champion. Something of the like Joe Frazier type champion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
He was still like a person that was of the community and he was really known and stuff like that. But his father had he had a street mentality and that kind of took him out. Like some guys killed him in the streets. You know what I mean? Like he had too much of a street mentality. There's a term out there in the streets some people use. Not a lot of people use it, but they might say, "Oh, that guy was super gangster." When they say a guy is super gangster, then you know that type of guy, what his attitude is, how his demeanor, all that shit. Like
Hmm.
you know, um, so that's his father. And he's trying to live up to that in the boxing world, you know what I mean? But he's been caught up himself in the streets. And now he sees an opportunity. A guy comes into his town. Um, it's my guy Mendoza. He's a boxer. He was a boxer too, a professional boxer. So this guy comes in town and he is the new champion. And he's kind of like Mayweather. He's always flaunting his money. He's always, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so he's like, anybody can beat me. Here's 100,000. You know what I mean? But the truth of the matter is, he really didn't have it like that. He was just kind of like fronting a little bit. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? He actually reached out to some mob guys in the town and asked, could they put up the money so he don't really lose no money? You see what I'm saying?
Hmm. You
So,
better win then.
yeah. So, but the only thing he has to do for the mob is basically do some appearances at a club, come to the casino, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because he's a high profile type of guy. You know what I mean? So in the movie, he takes the fight and he wins the money and he wins the reputation and respect of the city. So that's what this movie is about. Just a underdog that sees an opportunity to leave the streets.
That's awesome. That just sounds like your stories sound like heartfelt. They sound like there's a struggle with somebody and somebody trying to prove themselves. I mean, it's like a kind of a theme it sounds wonderful.
It's the underdog.
Yes, sir.
Underdog. We always root for the underdogs, you know? I mean, majority of us do. I
Yeah, that's
mean,
right. That's right. What this one we talked a little bit about it. Anything on this episode stand out?
other than my guy Andreas, he came through. We did something a little special. You know, we went to the Mexican restaurant, Mexican grocery store, and we did some shopping. Came through and we did some Mexican tacos, and they loved it. It was a great episode. The energy was up. Everybody was loving it. We had the website with all the merchandise on there. We
That's
wanted
cool.
people to kind of help and support because again, I'm funding all of this as the executive producer. So trying to put some money in my pockets
Yeah.
instead of But I made some money, lost some money. Uh, the goal is always to do triple profit or 5 time profit. You
Hmm.
know, uh, but we didn't reach the goal, those two goals, but we did reach an impact goal. The impact goal was at least 1,000 people, 1,000 people. You know what I mean? So that was an impact goal.
Well, the name of it, Cooking with Crooks. I mean, it gets your attention. It's kind of funny. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. That was the kind of the goal. Like it was mostly like a vibe. Like we picked apart different cooking shows, right? And certain cooking shows didn't have a vibe. Now, a vibe is the music. It's the music. It's the conversation that goes along with it, and the cooking, and the like marrying the food together. Like Lonnie mother kind of mentioned it, and she's an expert on like those type of things. Like when you cooking and you marry the food together. It's blending the food together. You know what I mean? It's a type of thing. You know what I mean? So and then certain like different things that people do in the kitchen, how they
Mhm.
sharpen their knives and stuff like that.
Sure, sure.
You know, so
Very cool. And I had to have this picture. You got a bunch of ladies there you're taking pictures of. What's going on here? I thought this was your studio, so if not, let me know and I'll move on.
nah, it's not my studio, man. Basically, this is a fashion show. So I was gonna mention this earlier because I was kind of working down my timeline. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
Uh, since we're kind of jumping around now, I got to think about it.
That's
Hey,
okay.
basically, this is a fashion show that I attended, and I did some photography. You know, I get a lot of photography jobs from people that I collaborate with. Um, Rockstar Gumbo is one of the guys that I do the annual fashion shows with. There's a few others in town, like Gang Shop, barber battle. They do barber battles and stuff like that. I've worked with one of the other cats in KC. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he does the brunch on 18 and Vine.
Okay.
You probably know what I'm talking about. I did one of his fashion shows um, as a photographer. So photography is like a side hustle.
Yeah.
So like I said before, this is how I was raised. Like we really get out and hustle. That's what I was saying to somebody the other day. Like these Gen Zers and stuff like that, they don't really have a hustle. Uh, the only hustle that they would like to do is online stuff, YouTube and
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff.
Yeah, they have advertisements for, I can't think, UGC creators or UCG. That tells you my age. And I recognize a couple people in this photo, I think, but
Isaiah, yeah,
tell
yeah,
me
yeah,
who, yeah, I know Isaiah Brantley. He's a great guy. Um,
yeah,
what's going on here? Is that you in the middle?
yeah. That's me in the middle.
Tell me what's going on here.
We we was basically on set. It was a great day. We shot this scene with Isaiah and one of Ricardo's. I think it's his cousin. He's an extra, and my guy AJ is right next to me, the shorter guy with the red T-shirt.
Hmm.
He's my assistant director. That day I had him mostly direct, and then Andreas is a longtime friend. Uh, we grew up in the streets and stuff like that. So he's also a writer of City of Kings.
Cool.
He's helped with some of the promoting. He's helping right now with City of Kings. Like we're gonna, we were going to do a radio ad and then probably put some more flyers out and stuff like that. So
But how do you come up with ideas to write? Because you were talking about, I don't know how many things you've written, comic books,
I've
series,
written a lot.
movies. Like, how do you get the idea? What inspires it?
Things I grew up with. You know what I mean? Uh, there's a lot of like morals, values, and hard work that I was raised with, you know what I mean? And like the hustling mentality, So when I create things, it's genuinely from my upbringing, from that core. And then also from a creative standpoint, I've always had ideals of different genres, different uh, series, TV shows. Like I can watch Martin, right, and come up with like three different TV shows just based on that premise. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Sure.
I got one right now that's like the modern day Martin. You know what I mean?
So,
So
what do you consider yourself? And I know you're like, you're three or four things you got going on, but if someone said, okay, I'm going to pay you to do one of these things and they're going to pay you well, and you're like, I got to do it, which one would you hope it was?
uh, I don't know. I would hope it would be writing and directing because I would
Okay.
like to have both hands on that project because I can sit back and not be the executive producer or producer. I can sit back and not be that, but I've always wanted to be a director. That's the reason why I've done as much as I've. It's been 18 years writing,
Wow.
18 full years of writing comic books, uh, movies, TV shows, cooking shows, you name it, I've wrote them. You know what I mean? Even the podcast, I learned how to write a podcast based on my guy Big Juice. I was gonna bring that up a little bit earlier too because it's a part of my journey. It's a long one. Like I said, 18 years. Uh, I only been filming for 8 years. 8 solid years I've been filming, but I've been 10 years before that. I've been writing. You know, I've been having ideas. I've been pitching. Actually, I've pitched to companies. There's companies I've pitched to. Back in the day, you used to have to put everything in a big folder. All of your writing, uh, you had to seal it. You had to put the building name and all of the information on there, and you have to have an introduction letter. The introduction letter told them what about you and about what you was trying to do. So I've submitted work as a professional, and see, a lot of people don't. My family don't even know that about me. That's how determined I was to get into the industry as a writer, and then to move my way up to be a director, because I knew that this was the game back in the day. The game was you get in at an entry level and then you move your way up.
Mhm.
But people want to skip that and go straight to the top.
Right.
There's learning lessons between that. You have to learn things between that. Experiences is is educational. It's how you get your education. You know what I mean? So I was always a person that knew that and that was striving to, do that.
You talked about City of Kings being a struggle. What was the struggle in getting that completed?
I would say two things: one, finances, and two, organization. Now, not saying that my culture can't organize. My black people. Not saying we can't organize, but we are probably on the low end of the totem pole when it comes to organizing. So, uh, there's certain hoods that some of my people don't want to go to. You know what I mean? They don't want to deal with Wyandotte. They don't want to deal with the Trey side, the 30s. They don't want to deal with Faux Block, my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with the 50s. You know what I mean? 5-1, these different areas throughout because I live this is the difference between me, my culture, and other people you've probably interviewed. They're not coming from the streets like I do. They don't see both worlds. I see both worlds.
Mhm.
I have to navigate through both worlds safely because things can go left real quick. So um, those things were a pain in the ass. And there's some people that was supposed to be more. The series was supposed to be 10 episodes long originally. We cut it down to 8 because one of our people had passed away. Jeremy, he you know committed suicide, and we prayed for the family, and I put the RIP in there for the first episode. But that changed a lot of the writing. I had to do some on-set writing to change up scenes because okay, he was supposed to be here in this scene, but now I have to change it up because he's not here. So then my cousin Lonnie, the one you see with Cooking with Crooks,
Mhm.
he was supposed to be in a lot of scenes, but there was certain neighborhoods and certain things that he didn't want to go to because politics, street politics. You see what I'm saying? There's
Mhm.
certain things like I know there's certain scenes that he did not want to be in and didn't want to do. He didn't have to tell me that. I knew that. You know what I mean? There was some times that he would tell me, and there was sometimes he wouldn't. He wouldn't show up. And if you don't show up, you
Oh
mess
my
it
gosh.
up.
That's hard.
I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people will not even they won't even know. Once they watch the whole thing and they hear me say this, then they'll go back and figure it out. Lonnie, which plays the character Ronnie, we were gonna cut him out the series. That's my cousin, the one that did the Cooking with Crooks. We was gonna cut him out because he missed so many scenes that we had to cut it down again to 6 episodes. We were supposed to have 8 episodes. Before that, we were supposed to have 10 episodes. You see how much of a
Mhm.
struggle this is becoming now?
That
So
sounds awful.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. So there's one scene you'll see if you watch the series and watch it closely. There's one scene you'll see where the character Tracy he gets a call from a Walt, which is like the concierge of the family. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna have you take the front runner of this now because Ronnie is getting caught up in a gun charge." So I had to take that scene and play it out for the rest of the episodes. Every time you didn't see him, he was in court. You see
Gotcha.
what I'm saying? Oh,
Gotcha.
he's in court today. Oh. If he did go do something, I had him do the scene and we talk about his court case. You'll see one of the scenes. He talks about his court case.
Hey, I will tell you though, just kind of as a slightly different perspective, I have been around lots of unorganized people of all different shades of skin. There's a lot of disorganized, and I've had people not show up. We're all there to film, and some random person doesn't show up, and it's like draw a straw for
Man,
who it's going to be. So it's
man,
just maybe that's who you're working with. But I got to tell you, if you're working with all white folks, you'd have the same stuff. where you would be like, man, why don't these people take it serious? And I got to tell you, that's why this is my view on Kansas City, on the film industry. A lot of times, if we're talking low pay or no pay kind of projects, you figure out who shows up on time, who is prepared, who does what they're supposed to, who delivers. And those people, like where I work with some of the same directors over and over because they know whatever level I'm at that level. And they can
Yeah,
ask me, and I'm going to show up, and I'm not going to do goofy stuff and show up an hour late and all that stuff where we're all waiting for one person and all that stuff, which I just hate. But like I said, I've had it done to me and I've seen it done where we show up and then we can't do things or we got to switch it. And somebody on the show, and I don't even remember who it was, talked about somebody not showing up and they had to write on the spot. Oh,
I've done it.
yeah, they
I've
had to
done
write
it.
on the spot. Somebody didn't show up and they gave them a half an hour and then they said, we got to figure something out. And they went and they wrote stuff and then they came back and okay, here's where we're going to do it now. All that silliness. And it's, like I
I've done
said,
it, bro. I've
yeah,
done
it
it,
happens all the time though, that kind of
man.
stuff.
I've had to take in my movie. I'm surprised you didn't bring this movie up. Hanging with the Homies. It's actually on Tubi right now.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So in that one, I had to take the main character out because the main character was another one of my cousins. Uh, he was a comedian, so I was trying to help his career and make him a main character. And Hanging with the Homies was like a comedy romance, like Think Like a Man with Kevin Hart. It was
Yeah.
something like that. I made it to be something like that in Kansas City, right? And he didn't show up. So I ended up taking one of the guys that was supposed to be the club owner, and I made him the main character. His name is Rico, the guy that I made the main character of Hanging with the Homies. So when you see Hanging with the Homies, originally it was supposed to be a black couple, but it ended up becoming a mixed couple, which you will see if you watch the movie and everything. But even still, they did a great job. Everybody did a great job, and um, that movie, I'm actually working on the second one, Hanging with the Homies too. So you heard it here for all the viewers. This time I'm gonna put the fashion show in it. My guy Rock Gumbo. Uh, well, the fashion show is called Curbs of Confidence. So, but he goes by Gumbo on Facebook and everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, me, him, and then I got some other people that I'm gonna put in more comedians because we need that. We just need more shows and movies like that. It has a family element, but also has comedy. You know what I mean?
What motivates you? Because there's been like it sounds like writing is fun, creative. Directing's been difficult at times with people not showing up and whatever. And like what motivates you to keep doing it?
Um, I would say the passion for filmmaking motivates me to keep going. Uh, I have a passion for it. I want to put out hundreds of projects like Denzel and Samuel L. Jackson. Like they've done over the years. Uh, Spike Lee and them. Like I want to be basically pick up the torch. They're the guys that started the foundation and been able to ride this out. And I'm not saying I want to be in Hollywood or nothing like that because people often like um, put you on one or two sides. Either you on the independent side or you on the Hollywood side. All I'm saying is I just want a career that lasts as long as theirs, a legacy that lasts as long as theirs, and I want an impact. You know what I mean? Like if Solomon's Kingdom, like I said, I turn that into a movie, right? Or actually, I would like to see that as a series like Star Wars, right? If I turn that into a series, I would like to see it go as long as Star Wars. Or Iniquities, I would like to see that go as far as like I would say Blade or any other anything that's in the horror genre. You know what I mean? Um, just certain projects I just like to see them last and continue like Friday and the cult classics.
My neighbor's got a
So
dog named Debo.
that's crazy because my next dog was gonna be called Debo.
You got
Seriously, no,
this big
I'm
old
actually
dog.
serious. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
serious. My next dog was gonna be named Debo.
yeah, yeah. My neighbor, she loves Fridays and her Friday, and she's got this big old 100 something pound dog. And I tell you what, you come in her house, you better be ready, because that dog is. I'm never coming into her house. Um, I have just a couple more questions. One, I'm going to ask you. We're going to like totally shift gears. If you've watched my little show here, I always ask everybody, somebody's coming to town, first time they've ever been here, and they
Hmm.
say, I want to go to barbecue. I don't care if
Joe's
it's in Kansas or Missouri. Okay, where is
Joe's Barbecue
Joe's
over there.
Barbecue? Okay.
Go take your ass to Joe's Barbecue. I used to be I was raised on Gates, so I'm kind of like I'm it's to me it's secondary to Joe's Barbecue because Joe's sauce to me is better now. Slab of ribs is big as fuck. Uh, and that's not saying that I don't like Gates at all, but I'm just kind of like I've been there, done that. I've been with it. I would still recommend it, but to
Yeah.
me, they're not better. Because I saw that post not too long ago on Facebook. They said Arthur Bryant's was the number one in Kansas City. I said, hell no.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Hell no. Hell
Yeah.
no. They're a close
LC's.
food.
You been to
LC's,
LC's?
LC's,
LC's.
LC's.
Man, I
I
love
fuck with them.
LC's.
You can smell LC's down the block, just riding down the block. You can
Yeah.
smell them,
Oh, yeah.
you
You
know.
drive up, you can smell it. Someone told me when I was telling them that it was like the guys from Mississippi or something. So they're acting like it's not Kansas City. Like, whatever. It's okay. I still love it. LC's is great.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
I'm with Joe's Barbecue. I like they sauce. They turkey sandwiches. They big. I love them motherfuckers. They're good. Fries are good. Everything is good there. And it seemed like they're a family company too. So I'm all about the family. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Building
good.
it up.
All right. Now I can get back to it. I remembered to ask my questions. Now I can get back to it. Um, Writing is something that you might develop a skill and then you can find resources to learn how to format stuff or what to put in the script and how to write a script. But directing, how did you learn how to direct? And do you edit your own stuff?
Yes, and yes, I direct and I had my own stuff. So what I was initially thinking about um, just in general writing, um, to me, to me, just writing in general, you can have the format or you can uh, do improv. A lot of people have been doing improv lately. You know what I mean? So it works. Far as in editing my own thing, it works to a degree. Far as with my schedule, I can edit, and then I learn how to edit. I taught other people's how to edit, stuff like that. Directing for me, and I can't even say that one is better than the other, or I'm less talented than the other because I learned them all at the same time. And that's basically what I'm trying to describe to you. I learned all of it at the same time, except for writing. I had already knew how to write long before directing and editing.
Mhm.
So even the format of it, like I even teach people how to format writing. So
That's good. What advice would you give to someone who wants to, you pick, write, direct, make movies? What would be your advice?
um, I had a young couple at one of the meetings ask me that too, and I told them which one are you more passionate about because I can say, hey, go write and just write till you can't no more. You know what I mean? But if you ain't passionate about it, you ain't even gonna get a page. You know what I mean? Done. You know. Um, directing directing can be like fun, but then it really turns into like sometimes like babysitting. You know what I mean? Like you gotta babysit people emotions. People get sensitive, you know what I mean? Like I don't holler at people, but the thing about it is we're adults. I'll treat you with respect until you really get out of pocket. Then I have to check you because you ain't gonna walk around here like yo shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going, for one thing, you definitely not going to bully nobody around this mug. None of my people, not even me. You're not going to play that persona. I'm bigger than life shit neither. I don't like that. You're not going to do that. I've had guys come on set. They got a chip on their shoulder because they have done some acting and they they uh they'll try and it doesn't work. They'll try to like undermine you and some of your people. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you don't know what we know, and how things was done over there. That's not how we're gonna do it here.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So you just have to be blunt like that. You have to be upfront with people because some people get that head and they act like that. Well, the people that really want to do directing, this is the thing. If you really want to do it, learn how to direct, how to talk to people, how to be respectful, how to um, teach your actors how to embody a character. So one of the things that I teach my actors as a director, I tell them go home, look in the mirror, and work on your facial features. Work on smiling. Work on frowning. You know what I mean? Work on your pronunciations. You know what I mean? You have to hit those syllables. You have to hit every word right because when it comes to editing and doing sound work, sometimes your words can be off of your lips. Your lips ain't matching up. So if you're not pronouncing all the words, and it makes it harder for us to do our job. You see what I'm saying? So, and then I give them little practice stuff like uh red, what is it? Red. I can't even think of it right now. Uh, red jacket or red, yellow, red, yellow. It's a play of words. Different words to say to kind of get them to help with their speaking. But it's not just speaking though. That's the thing. Um, Sometimes they overthink, and I can overthink some things too. I can admit that. I can overthink things too. Like even when this conversation, I'm trying to explain to you, I'm a little bit overthinking. But
Oh, you're doing wonderful. I want to tell you, you've been really fun
yeah,
to talk with. So,
yeah. So the main thing is I teach them to act and embody the character. So this character is a goofy guy, a clown type guy. Well, you have to add the let's just say the mannerisms or the body language. You know what I mean? So the way they move and talk, you gotta do that. A female that's very emotional, you gotta learn how they walk or how they talk. You know what I mean? A person, and here's the one thing I want to throw in there. You have to learn the difference between a character actor and a straight man role. So we had this debate a little while ago between Denzel and Wesley Snipes, who's the better actor. And just off the rip, I said Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes can do different characters. Just because Denzel can embody straight man roles, that doesn't mean he's the best actor. The best actor is the person that can embody the role. Method actors are often praised as the best actors. Look at Al Pacino with Scarface.
mhm.
He came to set as Scarface. He walked off set as Scarface. You see what I'm saying? So like you have to, and for me, a method actor is still a character actor, in my opinion. That's just in my opinion.
I like everything you just said because Wesley Snipes' Blade is in my top two or three movies I've ever seen. I loved
Come on,
Blade.
man. Come on, man.
Golly, he was good in that. And Um,
Yeah.
the other one is on Al Pacino. I always think of this on Meet the Parents. Ben
Hmm.
Stiller walked over and tried to meet him, and he wouldn't talk to him. He avoided him the whole movie because he
Yeah.
wanted tension to
You want to
stay.
build up that tension.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah, like Ben Stiller, like, I mean, he just probably doesn't really have much nice to say about him because, like, you go over to meet somebody. Like, if you and I were on set and I come over and say, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Ed."
And he
And
just
you're
turn
like,
around like,
"Get the
who the fuck is this? Who's this
that
guy? Get out of here, man. Like, yeah, yeah.
would
They,
like
you
just
see,
feel so rude."
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And see, and sometimes the director would do that. Did you watch Any Given Sunday where the director was goading LL Cool J to fight Jamie Foxx? He was goading him into it. He was like, "Hey, he said this about you. He said that about you." And when the fight scene came, it looked real because the director was teasing him and kept messing with him to
yeah,
actually fight. So I'm like, they do that type of stuff, and these people are dedicated to the job enough to embody these characters. And I
that's
always
awesome.
say, those are the best characters, man. Those are the
Yeah,
best characters.
that's awesome. Hey, what advice would you give to yourself if you could go back in time and you're 18 years old and you could give yourself advice just on what you've learned in filmmaking? How could you guide yourself in that direction?
Uh, Start filming right now. I would have told myself, hey, go get a camera, the cheapest one you can find, and start filming because I've seen a lot of filmmakers that started with camcorders. Like there's guys that's documented that have footage from way. Did you see Martin Sheen's documentary on Netflix?
I did actually just recently, I did watch it.
Come on, man. He look how early he started, just with
Yeah,
him
he's a
and his
kid.
father, his brother. Come on, man. I would have started then. I would have started then. I would have tried to find. I would have went to the schools. Like, hey, can y'all donate some money or can y'all give me a camera or something? I would have started then, because that was his beginning. Now he has like them what 40, 50 years into it since he been doing it. So I mean, that's a long stretch of time, and you can go back and get that footage, and you can put it with your work now. You know what I mean? And being able that documentary was good, man. It was
That's good.
it showed the ups, the downs. It showed the struggle. It showed the Hollywood bullshit that he had to go through.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
His
Like,
dad would protect him at all costs, man. His
oh
dad
yeah,
wanted everything soft for him.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Because I wasn't even born when they did that Michael Jordan challenge with him and his dad had challenged Michael Jordan to a
Yeah.
basketball game. And that's cool to see though. Like, damn, you did that back then. Like y'all recorded that and everything. Y'all, who's doing that now? Come
Yeah.
on. Who's doing that now?
Yeah.
That's what I want to
Hey,
know.
is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't spoken about yet?
It's a lot. Like I said, I got 18 years worth
Yeah,
of
it's good.
stuff.
It's good. It's good. But what do you want to make sure you talk about?
Uh, let's see. I definitely wanted to talk about Big Juice. Um, Big Juice was like my introduction into filmmaking, um, because he brought me into his podcast, Big Juice TV Radio. He brought me in as a second cameraman, and I learned how to write scripts, like podcast scripts, based on how he did it, um, and then he taught me to basically go after my dream of being a director. He taught me to like every day actively figure out ways to do it. You know what I mean? To film make, to like I was already writing, and that was one of the reasons why we got together through a mutual partner named Ardell, the guy I went to high school with. Me and him back in like 2012. I think it's about that time period. Me and Ardell. It was right after recession, so it was somewhere between 2011 and 2012. Um, we were starting to write a movie called Daddy Was a Gangster. And was based on the 90s crack age where a father had owned three different crack houses and stuff like that, was a hood millionaire and stuff like that, and seeing the struggles between him and what was going on in the streets and stuff like that. And later on in the film, it was the son reflecting on the struggles of his father. So basically, have you seen Godfather 2? You've seen that, right?
I have, but it's been so long.
Yeah. I've watched all of them from an early age, like 11. So what I was doing, what we was gonna do with Daddy Was a Gangster, was kind of set the premise with one, and then two, we was gonna do the back to back of the youth, like when he was young and his father was young, and you see the reflection of what they go through. You know, him in the '90s, and then his son in the 2000s. You see what I'm saying, with the
Hmm.
recession and all that stuff. So we was gonna do that. Something like it was a build up, of a movie series. So, but we never finished the first one. We never finished the first one. Daddy Was a Gangster. So then he introduced me to Big Juice. Big Juice brought me into the radio station, which was a podcast too. Um, and that's where I met the guy Rockstar, doing a fashion show, and I started meeting a lot of other people that were doing music and stuff. So I got some OGs that came to the studio, and they saw me, and they was like, "Oh man, you were Big Juice. That's cool, man. I like that you doing something positive, doing something different. You know what I mean?" Because at that same time when me and Big Juice had met, and he brought me into that, I was putting my comic books into Planet Comic Con, the
Hmm.
Solomon Kingdom series.
It's awesome.
So we was making money with. It was like, for real, I was probably one of the three black comics there. This was before they moved to the convention center downtown. They was in Overland Park. So I met Luke Frigno, the guy that did the original Credible Hulk. He
Yeah, yeah.
said, he told me, he's like, man, follow your passion, man. Follow, what I'm saying,
That's pretty cool.
being a director, you know what I mean? I met Billy D. Billy D, he's another
Wow.
one. He told me to continue writing, continue to be, because I asked him, like, I asked him, like, how do I get my stuff to the industry where I can get in as a writer and work my way up to be, an assistant director, stuff like that. And he was like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Do your research and put the work in. Like, submit your work. And that's what I was doing during that time. So when Juice kind of like picked me up at a time where I was already doing my thing with putting scripts out and my comic out. Because at the time I had Daddy Was a Gangster. It wasn't finished, but I had worked on it. I had lost Creed. I lost that when I moved. Didn't have the writings for that no more. So I had that in Solomon's Kingdom, and I was trying to push them out there.
Hmm.
So when I got with him, uh, he basically just, taught me the camera, taught me how to, write podcasts, TV shows. Like I started learning the TV shows on my own, but the podcast, I learned that, you know what I mean? So Big Juice was a big influence on my life, along with those other people I just mentioned. To put, like, I met Ron DMC, met him too, gave him a book,
Wow.
shook his hand. I even signed it, you know what I mean? So I met a lot of people, man, and this is stuff that, like I said, some of my friends and family don't even know this. You know what I mean? Because this is a career that I had to pursue on my own without telling people about it, because people would like, I I'm from the streets, bro, and people would shit on your dreams, man.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, they would shit on your dreams. I didn't tell them this shit because I knew for a fact that they were like, "Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you ain't gonna make it. Oh, you want to be in gay Hollywood? They gay as fuck, man. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but yeah, you
Yeah,
want to
you're
be in
right.
you want to be in booty Hollywood. Like, these bugs, these guys are gay as shit. Like, but the thing about it is, I didn't want to be in Hollywood. I didn't want to be a part of that crap. What I wanted to do is start a career off and get to the level of Spike Lee, get to the level of a lot of these cats like Mario Van Peebles. They you can say that some of their careers fell off or whatever, but they still have a legacy. It's like Ice Cube. Ice Cube is probably the biggest example of a reflection of my career, like what I want. You know what I mean? Like his career has ain't been doing nothing but going up. To me, it's been going up. Like you can say like the family films, he didn't do too well with them or whatever, whatever. But you gotta look at it. It's just a part of his resume. Like I'm pretty sure Ice Cube thought about doing some horror films, but certain people that he worked with or producers and stuff, they probably threw it out the window. Like,
Mhm.
we want comedy from you. We want this and that. So that's my take on it, man. Like far as in like being a producer of films, being a director, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the people that kind of motivate me and push me to keep going because I know for a fact people from the streets, they're not like that, man. I know for a fact.
Do what are your words of wisdom or your final thoughts for today?
Uh, do what you do best and delegate the rest. I learned that in a business book. Talent is not enough. I learned that a long time ago when I was pushing my books. Talent is not enough. You need to become a businessman. You need to become an entrepreneur. That's why I call myself the filmmaker and entrepreneur, big ed filmmaker and entrepreneur, because it's not enough to be a filmmaker. It's not enough to be an artist. I've been doing art for a long time, but it doesn't mean nothing when if you don't know how to promote, market, and strategize on how to put your work out. If you don't know how to do these things, you have to learn, read books, go to mentors, go to people that do know how to do this stuff. You know what I mean? Now I know nowadays, oh, you can do it all on your own because it's social media, but social media is cool, but there's a cap on that too. You have to pay money for these ads and stuff like that. You get viral moments and stuff like that, but how many people in the world get viral moments and go right back to being regular? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not something that's gonna give you wealth. Wealth is in the mind. You gotta like learn how to sustain yourself in this industry and how to, get wealth and transfer it over to your family. You know what I'm saying? So it's a mindset, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, being a business person. You have to learn this stuff. You can't skip it. There's no I think Clifton Powell said it best. Like, you have to put in the work. You know what I mean? You can't skip a level. You have to start here and work your way up. There's people in the industry, like he said, that slept around, that tried to sleep around, and that got them a little somewhere, but they fizzled out because they didn't have the mindset to keep going and to build their career and network and do stuff like that. You might, because certain women, they can get in by sex and all that, but that don't keep them there. And that's what he was explaining, Clifton Powell. If you haven't seen Clifton Powell's interviews or latest interviews, he's an actor. Some people say he's a B-list actor. I don't think he's a B-list actor. To me, he's an A-list, and he's well trained, like he said, just like Denzel Washington, just like Samuel Jackson. They all come from the same era of actors that put passion and hard work into their career.
Hey, well, I wanted to tell you, I've truly enjoyed talking to you today. And I know we can't cover everything in an hour, hour and 15 minutes, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
a lot. And you made it very interesting. So I truly appreciate you coming on here, Big Ed.
Yeah, man. No problem, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Everybody check out City of Kings right now. We dropped the fourth episode this past Friday. We're dropping each episode every Friday. I have another project coming here in a minute. I'll announce the name. Hanging with the Homies is also on Tubi. Check it out. It's a comedy romance. Something like Think Like a Man. We're actually working on the second one of that one. I'm bringing back Speak On It, the podcast. Check it out on Blue Line Studios on YouTube, or we may have a separate channel for that. Um, it's called Speak On It, the podcast. So, Cooking with Crooks, we may bring that back. It's just depending on certain people's schedules and stuff like that. but I'm also building my team. So a bigger team, so I don't have to do as much. So check out everything we got going on, Blue Line Studios.
Thank you, sir. You have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too.